Hello everyone, I am Trivedi from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, and today we will study about balancing of V engines. So here in our case, if we consider the balancing of V engine, so it will be like this as you see in our diagram. So this is the V engine basic diagram, and here in our case it is as V engine and the combination of inline engine. So here, as we have already studied about V engine and also the study about inline engine, so that we can easily combine V with inline engine. Now here in our case we will study about V engine. So let us have study. Now here in our case we are going to consider that there are only two cylinders, okay, in the V form. Not like our diagram which is given in the background image. It is not like that. In the background image we will cover the 6-cylinder V inline engine, okay, but here we have to consider our inline engine only, not only inline engine, the V engine only, okay. Now let us assume there are two cylinders, cylinder 1 and cylinder 2, okay. Now they both are attached at an angle which is known as 2 alpha. So here as you see in the diagram, the angles are 2 alpha, alpha each from the vertical line, alpha right hand side, from the vertical line, alpha left hand side, okay. Now let us study the further images. Like if we are considering the crank length, so if the crank length is R and the crank will make theta with respect to the OY axis. So here the crank will represent with the OY axis, the angle is theta. Now here we are considering the line of stroke as the dotted lines. As we all know about our single cylinder engine, that in the dotted line we are considering the line of stroke. And what is the line of stroke? It is the pre-motion of the cylinders, okay. The cylinder will move in the direction of line of stroke itself, right. Now all the forces in the cylinders are going to take place or are going to have the imbalance force in the line of stroke only, okay. So now let us consider the OX axis, OY axis as well as OC as the crank radius. Now again let us again explain the theory. It is like two cylinders having the angle 2 alpha, alpha each from OY axis. It is having OX axis. It is also connected with the crank, and crank will make the theta angle with respect to the OY axis, right. Now let us study further about it. Let us assume M, which is the mass of the reciprocating cylinders, reciprocating mass we can say. Then now next is L, which is length of connecting rod. Next is R, which is radius of crank. Next is obliquity ratio, which is L by R. And what is obliquity ratio? It is a ratio of connecting rod to the crank. Next one is theta, which is the inclination angle of crank with respect to OY axis, right. Now next, if we consider omega, which is angular velocity of that crank, right. Now if we are considering all the systems as it is, we have to consider, we have to take all the data like this. Now here let us consider our single cylinder engine. So this is our single cylinder as well as V engine in our case. So here if it is the single cylinder engine, we have the crank, we have the mass m omega square r, and the centrifugal force will tend to act in the direction of line of stroke, which is m omega square r cos theta. Now student, you have to remember that theta angle will only with respect to the line of stroke. So here we have to consider the angle with respect to the line of stroke. Clear? Now, we have the image of two-cylinder engine. So, we have two cylinders. First cylinder will make alpha angle with OY axis, theta angle with OY axis. So, what is the angle between line of stroke and crank? It is alpha minus theta, as you see in the diagram. Now, let us consider cylinder number 2. Now, what it represents? Let us check. Alpha with the OY axis. With the crank, it will represent the theta angle. Okay. So, the total angle with respect to the line of stroke will be alpha plus theta. Okay. Now, let us study about in a brief. So, for the cylinder 1, what we can write? The angle is alpha minus theta. For the cylinder 2, the angle is alpha plus theta. Okay. Now, you have to note down both of this. Then and then, you can understand our further theory. Now, let us understand this. For the line of stroke, we have to first consider about primary force as well as the secondary force. Now, as we all know, the primary force along the line of stroke. So, what should be the angle? It is alpha minus theta. So, if we are considering primary force with respect to the cylinder 1, it should be Fp1 and it can be written as m omega square r. Instead of theta, we have to write alpha minus theta. It means cos alpha minus theta. Clear? Now, for the cylinder 2, if we write Fp2, the equation is m omega square r cos alpha plus theta. I think this is clear for you. Now, let us start our secondary forces. As we all know, for a single cylinder engine, what is the secondary force equation? M omega square r cos 2 theta by n. And what is n? It is obliquity ratio, right? So now, in this case, for the cylinder 1, what is the angle? It is alpha minus theta. For the cylinder 2, what is the angle? It is alpha plus theta. So what should be the secondary force equation? It will be like Fs1. So we have to write m omega square r cos 2 alpha minus theta by n. If we consider for cylinder 2, so it is m omega square r cos 2 alpha plus theta by n. Okay. Now, let us have the primary forces value as well as secondary forces value. Now, as you see, in a same plane, we are having two different values. For a cylinder 1, primary forces, we have two values for cylinder 1 as well as cylinder 2. We have secondary values for cylinder 1 as well as cylinder 2. Clear? So now, let us solve and find out the resultant of both these values. So first of all, let us solve the primary forces. For the primary forces, we have to consider primary forces. So where they are acted, they will act at the line of stroke. So here we have primary forces at the line of stroke. Now let us consider the along the OY axis forces. So if Fp1 in this direction, if Fp1 is in this direction, what should be the along the OY axis force? It is Fp1 cos alpha. Same as at a particular angle is Fp2. So what is the OY axis force? It is Fp2 cos alpha. Now as you see in the diagram, they both are in the same direction. Okay. So now let us solve this. What is the value of Fp1? As we have already written in our notebook, it is m omega square r cos alpha minus theta. What is the value of Fp2? It is m omega square r cos alpha plus theta. Okay. They both are in the same direction if we are considering the component in the y direction. Okay. So let us have vertical component of this force. It is Fp1 cos alpha plus Fp2 cos alpha. Now let us put the values of Fp1 and Fp2 so that what we can write, m omega square r cos alpha minus theta cos alpha plus m omega square r cos alpha plus theta cos alpha. Now let us common out the values. So what are the commons? It is m omega square r cos alpha. In a bracket it is cos alpha minus theta plus cos alpha plus theta. Now here this is again the mathematical equation. Cos plus cos. It means we will get the answer as C plus C, that is equal to 2cc. So we have to write 2cc value. So let us put the value of 2cc. So here finally we will get vertical force like 2m omega square r cos square alpha cos theta. Okay, so this is our primary vertical force equation. Now let us solve the horizontal forces. For the horizontal forces, we have to consider the primary as well as secondary force. If we will consider the primary as well as secondary force, what are the horizontal forces? It is Fp1 sin alpha and Fp2 sin alpha. Okay, now let us have sin alpha values, and if you see this, they both are in the opposite direction. Okay, now if they both are in the opposite direction, what we have to write? So here if we solve the horizontal forces, they are like Fp1 sin alpha minus Fp2 sin alpha. Clear? So for our case, let us put the values of Fp1 as well as Fp2. So if we will put the values of Fp1 and Fp2, what will be the answer? It is like m omega square r cos alpha minus theta sin alpha minus m omega square r cos alpha plus theta sin alpha. Now let us common out some values which are common. So here m omega square r sin alpha is the common value. Okay, and in the bracket what we need to write? Cos alpha minus theta minus cos alpha plus theta. Now here we have cos minus cos, so that we can write 2ss, right? 2 into sin alpha sin theta. So let us put the value of m omega square r sin alpha in a bracket, 2 sin alpha sin theta, right? Now here let us consider the further equation, like if we are study the furthermore and solve it, what is our answer? 2m omega square r sin square alpha sin theta. So this is our primary horizontal force. Clear? Now let us find out the resultant primary force. For the resultant primary force, we have to write Fp is equal to under root of primary vertical square plus primary horizontal square. Now by putting the value, we will get Fp is equal to under root of 2m omega square r cos square alpha cos theta whole square plus 2m omega square r sin square alpha sin theta whole square. Now what are the common values? It is 2m omega square r square. So here if we common out the value, what we will get? 2m omega square r root of cos square alpha cos theta whole square plus sin square alpha sin theta whole square. So this is our resultant primary force. Now if we are having resultant primary force, we will surely get the angle of that resultant primary force. So what is the angle? Let us consider it is at beta p. This is our resultant primary force angle. So if we are considering beta p is equal to tan inverse, obviously if we are taking the angle of tan, it should be sine by cos. So here in our case, the horizontal value will represent the sine and vertical value are representing the cos value. So here we have to write tan inverse force primary horizontal by force primary vertical. So now if we are doing this kind of equations, what we will get? We will get tan inverse tan square alpha tan theta. So here we have primary force equation, and the resultant primary force angle you do not need to bother about it. This will not ask you in the GTU, but primary force equation as well as the use of the primary force equation, both are very important. Okay, so now this is our resultant primary force as well as the angle of resultant primary force. Now let us have secondary forces. For the secondary force, we have to consider the diagram as well. Now students, it is very important for you to understand the basic fundament for the calculations. Okay, so do we calculate like prime for the primary forces. you have to calculate in a same manner for the secondary forces. Clear? So if we are considering m omega square r cos alpha minus theta for primary, what we need to consider for secondary? M omega square r cos 2 alpha minus theta by n. This is Fs1. What is Fs2? M omega square r cos 2 alpha plus theta by n. So these values are for secondary forces. Okay. Now, in this case, if we are considering secondary forces, so here you have to consider or calculate horizontal as well as vertical forces. It means along the OY axis and perpendicular to OY axis. You have to calculate both the forces. Clear? So now let us calculate for the vertical component or along the OY axis. So if we are considering along the OY axis, they both are in the same direction. Hence, we will get the positive value. Clear? Or the summation of both the forces. So let us have the summation Fs1 cos alpha plus Fs2 cos alpha. Now by putting and solving both the equations as you have already studied in primary forces, we will get in a same manner, so that we are getting the equation as 2 by n m omega square r cos alpha cos 2 alpha cos 2 theta. It is just like the same. Okay, the equation is same here, but what is the difference? Because angle is multiplied with the 2, we will get the answer as the multiplication in the 2. Clear? 2 alpha and 2 theta. I want to say this. Now, let us have horizontal component. So, for the horizontal component, if we are considering horizontal one, it means sin alpha, one side is positive, another side is negative. It means Fs1 sin alpha minus Fs2 sin alpha. Now, by putting and solving this equation, we are getting the equation as 2 by n m omega square r sin alpha sin 2 alpha sin 2 theta. Clear? Now, let us have the resultant value. So, what is the resultant? As we all know, resultant is vertical force square plus horizontal force square. Clear? So, now by putting the values in our equation, it is 2 by n m omega square r cos alpha cos 2 alpha cos 2 theta whole square plus 2 by n m omega square r sin alpha sin 2 alpha sin 2 theta whole square. Clear? Now by solving this equation, we will get 2 by n m omega square r under root of cos alpha cos 2 alpha cos 2 theta whole square plus sin alpha sin 2 theta sin 2 alpha whole square. Clear? This is our secondary force equation. Let us have the secondary force angle. So it is tan inverse force horizontal by force vertical. Why horizontal by vertical? Because in the horizontal we will get the sine angle. In the vertical we are getting the cos angle. Hence horizontal by vertical. Okay. Now by solving this equation, we will get tan inverse tan alpha tan 2 alpha tan 2 theta. So here we have our secondary force equation. Okay. Both these equations are very important for us. You have to study it very well. If you do not understand anything, you can simply call me and ask me regarding the same. Okay. Thank you so much, students.